Good morning, everyone. As Seth mentioned, I'm Warren Buford. I'm on the session, and I'm having a good time with the Stewardship Committee with this Olivet Together effort this fall. And I'm pleased to share just a few words of reflection on stewardship and what it means to me. I would start by saying that giving to the church is a matter of the heart, not of wealth or ability. It is a matter of faith, a very personal covenant between us and God. This is and will always be the foundation of stewardship at Olivet. How we serve God and the church and what we do to take care of Olivet and each other is also a matter of personal considerations and circumstances. So to borrow a little from Simon Sinek, whose TED Talk is one of the most watched ever, these personal considerations and circumstances might be called our why, our story, our stewardship story, which each of us brings to this moment. So Ashley and I have two boys, Max, who's 19, and James, who's 17, and have been members of this church for 18 years. This means our Olivet experience has been intimately intertwined with our experience as parents. Olivet has been an important part of the formation of our immediate family and has helped us raise these two rascals. Olivet has given Max and James roots and wings. And we cherish wonderful and happy memories over these years when Max and James have been nourished spiritually and socially, and when they have flourished as their best selves, with perhaps one exception. That was when Max, as a young boy, was dressed up as a donkey in the Christmas pageant and was standing on the stage. And as the show was going, he started to disrobe. And we didn't know what to do. And he just took this and that. Next thing, clothes are fine. He says, I'm hot. So he had his hat on and a diaper. There are some exceptions to these memories. There have also been what we call life's defining moments, such as the boys' baptism, mission trips, confirmation mentors, and developing their faith statements. Ashley and I had similar experiences growing up active in a church, and we will be forever grateful to this church and each of you who have been part of their childhood, especially Ruffin. We love you, Ruffin. So for me, stewardship is about our children and your children and ensuring our church continues to enrich all of them. And I know this is important to many of you too. Over these years, Ashley and I have been privileged to play a small role in Olivet's growth and governance through service in various committees and involvement in many church activities, Sunday school, and other programs. I have yet to make it to a men's breakfast, but learned last week from Juan that you guys eat a lot of bacon, and so I am considering it now. These experiences inform another view on stewardship, a more practical one. When we support the good people of this church each year, good things happen. Really good things happen now and long into the future. Our blessings and our opportunities to be blessings become abundant. 9 years ago, I was serving on the search committee for a new associate pastor. We had a top contender, but still had to go through a process. It was a leap of faith, along with some prudent planning for our church, to add a full-time associate pastor, along with a full-time youth pastor, a full-time pastor, and other part-time staff. It was a big decision. The preschool at that time was only a year old, and that too was a big decision that required us to come together in lots of different ways to meet the aspirations and respond to the need. Today, the preschool is celebrating its 10th year with hundreds of young people and parents and families who've been positively benefited from the preschool, and it's about to grow. And that associate pastor that we appointed, that was Seth. Just think about the enhancements and expansions in mission, worship, communications, music, intergenerational programming, and much more over these last many years. I often think of that church meeting 145 years ago or so. A group of beleaguered, frustrated parishioners fresh off a fire in their church, wondering what next, where to go, how to build, what to do. And here we are, 144 years later, thriving. The people of this church, staff, volunteers, each of you are truly special. It is beautiful to see this church in action here and in neighborhoods across the city and over the mountain, in the Blue Ridge and the Smokies, and over on the Indian Ocean. All of that benefited from a community that comes together for the people of Olivet and each other. My stewardship story, my why, is informed from some formative experiences I had as a child in Africa as well. Having grown up my teenage years in Kenya, I'm influenced by a Kenyan concept that you may have heard of called Harambee, literally meaning all pulled together in Swahili. It is also the official motto of Kenya and appears on its coat of arms. A concept of community building, it is a practice manifested in community fundraisers for people in need, such as before going off to college or marriages or for those sick. It's an extraordinary concept, an extraordinary practice, and I see it play out here. Having spent time in South Africa, I'm also influenced by the concept of Ubuntu, a Zulu word that translates to I am because of you. It represents the interdependence of humanity. My humanity is inextricably bound up in yours. The idea that we want to make something better, we must work together to do it. So I want to close with some words from my son, James, with his permission. Recently, I found this notebook. I don't know if this is his handwriting or not, but this is where he wrote his faith statement and confirmation. And it inspires my thinking on stewardship. You can see it in handwriting. Here's what he wrote. I believe that God is a support pillar and will always welcome me with open arms. I believe in Jesus as the Son of God, crucified, then risen. I believe Jesus to be kind, humble, forgiving, and merciful, and has set an example for how I can implement these characteristics into my own life. I believe in the Holy Spirit. That is the spirit of the culmination of God and Jesus. The Holy Spirit follows me wherever I go, pushing me to do my best throughout all areas of my life. I want to join this church because I want to be part of a community of faith, surrounded by people who care about me and who I can care about, and try to live like Christ did, with compassion, kindness, inclusivity. The Holy Spirit is and will be all around me always. The stewardship is an annual ritual. It's an individual decision, but it has communal and generational consequence. So when I think about all of that together, I think about all of that forever. On behalf of the session, thank you for all the many ways each of you support and enrich this church, and to those that have helped us raise those rascals. Thank you very much.